Hey guys, back today again with another video. I hope I'm not scaring you away with all of me, but today I thought I would show you how I curl my hair. Sometimes I will use this Remington Pearl iron that goes from 1/2 inch to 1 inch for tighter curls, and sometimes I will use the same model, but this one goes from 1 inch to 1.5 inches. So I like to use both of these, and I'm gonna do some of my curls with one and some of my curls with another, and there's a couple ways to curl your hair. So overall with these two wands you can get 4 different looks, and I will show you each of those. So if you want to see how to go from this flat and dull straight hair to this, just keep watching. So to get started, you're gonna want a hairbrush, any kind will work. Teasing comb, of course mine has junk on it, that's disgusting. Any teasing comb will work as well. It's only if you want to tease your hair, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. And then I use some dry shampoo, some hairspray, and then a heat protectant before I curl, and then this really helps to hold the tease if you do want to tease your hair. This is the L'Oreal Boost It High Lift Creation Spray. So I'm first of all going to do the dry shampoo because this is day 2 or 3. I don't know how long it's been since I washed my hair, but I tend to get kind of oily, especially right here, so that's where I'm going to focus most of this. I do really like this dry shampoo. This is like the 3rd time that I've repurchased it, but it works pretty well for me. And not only is it going to help my hair look a little bit more fresh, but it's also going to give it a little bit of texture so that when I do go to tease it, it's going to be better. So I'm going to start off by kind of working that into my fingers so that it can absorb all the oil, and then after I do that I will curl it. Now my hair is incredibly fine, so I don't generally section my hair, but if you do have thicker hair, like most people have thicker hair than mine, I would recommend sectioning it. And so I'm gonna use a clip for the sake of the video just to show you how you could section it, and then depending on how thick your hair is you might need to section it a couple times, and if it's fine you might not need to section it at all. So after I let that sit for just a little bit, then I'll take a hairbrush and I'll just kind of brush it through. The great thing about teasing your hair and using dry shampoo is it allows you to go a lot longer between washes, and I have noticed a huge difference in the health and condition of my hair since I have avoided washing it every day. So I'm going to section my hair basically in the middle because I don't really need to section it at all, but like I said, for the sake of the video I'm going to section it for those who have thicker hair than me, which is probably most of you. And I'm using these curling irons because they were pretty inexpensive and they hold my hair in a curl for 2-3 days. So I can curl it the first day and then either wear it down again the next day or wear it in a ponytail or anything else, and my curls are still looking really good. So I'm going to go through and I'm just going to brush my hair, take my heat protectant and spray that. And I'm going to show you the littler wand first. So I'm going to take a pretty generous section of hair because again mine is pretty thin. Take as much as you need to. And the thing with this wand, because it's so narrow, it's harder for me to do a ribbon curl, and I'll show you what that means. So ribbon curl is you wrapping your hair flat to try to get as much of the hairs touching the wand as possible. And as you can see, when I do ribbon curls with this iron, I run out of room and I still have a lot of hair left. So generally if I'm going to do ribbon curls with this iron, I'll start more like here on my hair, and I don't need to hold it very long. So after I've done that you can kind of see what the curl looks like. So that's one way to use this one. Another curl that I generally do when I'm using this smaller wand is just to wrap it so that your hair is more like a rope. It's got more of a cylindrical shape, and I'm just going to wrap it, and as you can see I'm not going to try to make my hair flat. And I generally keep the ends of my hair out, partly because it's better for the ends not to be getting fried, but also because it gives it a slightly more natural look, and I'll show you what I mean. So after I've held it for, depending on the size of hair piece, maybe 10 or 15 seconds, and you can kind of see you get a slightly different look with that curl than with that one. I feel like with the smaller wand my curls stay longer. But I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to finish this half with the small wand, and I'll move over to the other side using the larger wand. So once I've completed a section of hair, I will take some hairspray and spray it. And eventually I am going to be taking my fingers and kind of going through the curls just so they don't stay quite so ringlety. But I want to let the curls kind of set. So I'm going to move on to the next section of hair and basically do the same thing. And now I'll show you what it looks like if you use the larger barrel. So same thing, combing my hair out, taking the heat spray. And I'll show you what the larger curling iron looks like. So doing the ribbon curl with this one first, where I'm trying to be conscious about keeping my hair piece pretty flat. This one definitely gives me more volume and my curls look a little more natural, but I don't think that they last quite as long. So I love having both. I love being able to decide what kind of a look that I want. So you can kind of see what that piece looks like. So now with this one you can also just wrap your hair like I did with the smaller one, which is how I basically did the rest of my head if you noticed that. So this way I'm not going to be conscious about keeping my hair flat. I'm just going to let it sort of form a little rope. And you can kind of see what that one looks like. So like I said, this one gives you a much more natural looking curl because it's not quite as thick, but then you can take a smaller piece too, which is what I'll do with this one. Basically, if I'm going to do ribbon curls and have my hair piece flat, I like to use the bigger wand, and if I'm going to be just wrapping it a lot quicker and faster, which is kind of, I don't know what it's called, maybe I like to think of it as the rope method, rope versus ribbon. But if I'm going to do it that way, like I am right now with this piece, I like to use the smaller one because I think it's a little bit easier and I think the curls last a little longer. So again, you can kind of see what that looks like. So I'm going to finish up my head with the smaller one just so that it doesn't look super crazy, and I will come back after I've curled and before I tease. Okay, so once you're finished curling your whole hair, it's going to look a little crazy because, I don't know about you, but I'm not a huge fan of the I definitely used a curling iron in my hair look. So I don't want to spray this section quite yet because that's going to be a lot harder to tease. So I'm going to go through now and I'm going to tease just a little bit on my crown. I'm not a huge fan of teasing my hair because I like to kind of be able to bring my fingers through it throughout the day, and I hate the way it feels at the end of the night when I try to brush it out. So I will tease it a little bit just because I think it does make a really big difference. But I am just going to comb just ever so slightly through my hair. I also wanted to mention I did curl everything away from my face, and you probably were able to tell that, but I think it gives it a lot more volume and just looks a lot nicer. So I'm gonna go now and I'm gonna start my part. See how my part goes all the way back? I'm gonna start with my comb a few inches in front of where my part ends, and I'm just gonna kind of take it back so I can kind of give myself a spot to start when I'm teasing. So then I'm going to take this first section using the end of my teasing comb and get a little layer. And I think the key to teasing is to tease in sections. So I'm going to go like this, and once I bring that piece forward, I'm going to take that Boost It Creation Spray, just tease a little, just spray a little bit right there at the roots, take my comb, and I'm going to be kind of combing in a circular motion. So starting at the very base and working my way up only about an inch from my roots. I don't want to tease it. I don't want to be teasing it all the way up here. I'm just teasing it at the base. So as you can see, that gave a pretty good little bump. So I'm going to go and I'm just going to tease one more section beneath that one. So once I've got that section, same exact thing, just a little bit of a spray right at the base and teasing at the starting, at the base in circular motions, coming up about 1.5 inches, 2 inches from my crown. So once I've got those two pieces, as you can see, it's not like a crazy amount of volume. It's just enough that my hair doesn't look so flat and drab. But what I want to do is I want to kind of blend that a little bit with around my sides. So I'm just going to kind of grab little pieces and do the same thing I did there, just so it's not just one big bump in the back and flat everywhere else. And this stuff is really good. In fact, I don't even think you have to tease with it, but I think your hair will last a lot longer if you do tease it along with it. It's actually, I think, considered kind of an alternative to teasing your hair. So if you don't want to tease it and you just want to use a spray, this actually does give pretty good volume on its own. So this side is pretty much how I want it. As you can see, I have some volume over here now, and I'm barely touching this to my hair. I'm just trying to get a little bit more even. So then that side is good. Same thing on this side, just a little bit to blend that crown. And you can go back and use just a little bit more of this. It just does a really good job of adding texture to my hair. Once I have gone through and I've teased it and I'm happy with the way it looks, I'm just going to hit everything with hairspray. And that's it. You are good to go. Thank you so much for watching.